Hello, beautiful souls. How are you today? It's such a beautiful evening. We're just kicking into our evening here in Aotearoa. Welcome to another video on health, which is my jam, which is my magic. I wanted to share this video that I'm actually preparing for our healing wānanga, or part of it anyway. I'm just preparing for our healing wānanga, and I just wanted to share this little bit of information with everyone else. So it's all about our health stories and how they are the main key for us to heal ourselves. They are inner stories, the stories we tell ourselves and the stories we tell each other people about ourselves and our health. A little bit about me. So I have almost 23 plus years of experience in the health industry as a traditional Māori healer, a spiritualist, energetic healer, light worker, and spiritual whakato. I love that word. And so about 21 years I spent mostly as a traditional Māori healer and a spiritualist, energetic healer. The last 2 years I've been delving into researching for the last 2 years, and I am really excited about expanding on that throughout 2022. And as I said, this is my jam, helping other people understand what health is all about and how they can heal themselves, how our bodies have abilities to heal itself more than you can ever imagine. All right, so my health story, which is all about don't be ashamed of your story, as it will inspire others. This is what our stories and narratives are all about. It's about helping us heal, helping us expand, helping us grow, and inspiring others to do the same. All right, my health story. So this is me at the beginning of 2019. During the second most challenging year of my life, I had retired from teaching as I completely lost the passion to teach within schools or any type of formal education system. I just had been done with it because I felt it too controlling for me, and I lost the ability and the control to actually teach how I wanted to teach and teach what I wanted to teach, especially because I was in the special education area, and I just I realized earlier on in my career that the way we were teaching our kids in special education was not going to actually helping them. So I decided to give up teaching and then create my own online business. While I was emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually spent, I was actually totally fucked in those 4 areas for since 2012, after the transition of my son. But by 2019, I still hadn't overcome the grief of that event. I thought I had, but the events, my decisions that I made through from that time, from 2012 to 2019, were really challenging and difficult decisions, which made my life quite difficult. And I found myself in a really emotionally spent position where I was, created some really fucked up stories about myself. And for 7 years, I had, for 7 years, I had spent most of my life on the right hand side of an emotional scale. So there's my version of an emotional scale. So it's just a scale that identifies the different emotions that you're feeling at a particular time in your life, at a particular moment, a particular day. And for 7 years, I spent most of that time on the right-hand side of the emotional scale, which was all about fear, guilt, shame, frustration, irritation, rage, anger. It was like all those kind of low frequency, low vibration emotions that I spent years with, because at that time, in the beginning of 2019, I believed that I was worthless, especially as a mother, healer, a teacher, and spiritualist. I believe that if I had have done certain things, that my son would still be alive. And I believe that as a healer, I should have been able to do more, and I should have known better. I also felt tremendous guilt, shame, fear, anxiety, worry, and frustration. And I hadn't felt those emotions for a very, very long time prior to this event. The shame of and the guilt. Being a mother and a spiritualist, I had this really self-limiting belief that I should have been noticing things about him and all that sort of, about my son, all that sort of stuff. This is where I just got it into my head that I should have done more, and if I didn't, then I wasn't a great mother, healer, or spiritual. And how the hell, if I couldn't help my son, why could I help other people? And so I found myself in really quite a crappy place. During that time, I created a large amount of unnecessary pain in my body. Even though I was a healer and I had an idea of what was happening to me physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, did not have enough faith or trust in myself to do anything about it. I knew I could do this and that, but I just had no passion or drive to actual motivation to actually use the skills and my knowledge I already had. Until May 2019, when my mentor, very close friend of mine, a spiritualist, he taught me everything a lot of what I knew. We worked together for 14 years. She transitioned, and it was this stage that I knew things had to change, because I withdrew into myself more, as I did not want to go through what I did with my son. And it was this decision not to do what we normally do during a tangi, during a funeral, that shifted me dramatically, and especially because through her transition, I got to participate in a different way and see what actually happens when we transition, when we pass on, when we leave this physical realm and go into the spiritual realm. And if you ever get the opportunity to travel with a soul while they're moving from the physical body and back into the physical, then take that opportunity, because it will be an experience that will change your life, because it was the most loving and joyous experience that I've been through. And this was the event, it was the catalyst for me to make a huge and significant change in my life, because I knew that if I didn't make a change, I wouldn't be here today. And the physical, emotional, and mental pain that I held within me was slowly deteriorating my body, because each day I noticed the simple and easy things that I couldn't do, like hold a kettle in my hand, tie my shoelaces, clasp my hands together, kneel. I couldn't squat or jump. The pain in my joints and my ankles and my toes was just too much for me, and I felt as if my bones were starting to crumble. The pain prevented me from climbing stairs, sleeping, walking, bending down, sitting down on the floor, getting up off the floor unaided. If I wanted to go sit on the floor, I couldn't cross my legs. I had to have my legs out in front of me. And I stopped doing all that because I had to get someone to actually help me get up, to actually pull me up. And also I became very weak, so I couldn't actually hold myself up if I did get something to help me up. And so that was like telling me, my body was telling me it needed to change. I needed to do something. For all those years I hadn't listened, but it got me to that point where I was just almost crippling myself. So I knew I had to do something about my health, but I didn't want to go back to what I was doing, because my passion for that kind of work I'd lost it, and it had waned so much that I had no motivation to even go and try using those skills again. So I decided to research in more depth about what makes me really tick. Why did I experience all that I did? Why did I go through all those experiences with my son when he transitioned? And why the heck did I do all the things that I did? Why do we actually do the things that we do? Because honestly, I was thinking and feeling some pretty fucked up things, and wanted to find out why this was happening. As the way I was thinking, kept intensifying every day, more than I could ever imagine. And this is when I discovered quantum physics, epigenetics, biogenetics, and the Western version, not virgin, and the Western version of spirituality and metaphysics, or the non-physical world, which is completely different from what I actually learned. So this was a whole new ball game for me, where I learned how we're created, why we're created the way we are. I learned that we are all energetic, and I learned what life truly is and how we are to live in life so that we can live in harmony and balance with everything that exists in the universe and on our planet. But this is also when I discover why humans are the way they are, and why our health is of calamitous proportions of despair, especially for Māori, the indigenous people of Aotearoa, but especially for most indigenous cultures. You know, they're always at the bottom end of the health statistics. And for me, I can't tolerate that anymore. You know, for me, I just don't understand why we keep tolerating the systems that we have in place right now for all of us, for everyone, because we're all the same. No one's different. And for me, without the knowledge that I've gained and what I know, I have to try and make a difference, because I just can't tolerate it anymore. I can't tolerate seeing Māori the way they are. I can't tolerate it anymore. I just don't want to. So I've decided to actually make it a mission for my purpose to actually teach other people about health, about life, and how they can actually heal themselves. And once they do that, then things will transform, things will change. And this is the reason that I'm here, because sharing this with you, because I want to share this with you as I've studied and learnt this knowledge of upgrading my ability, skills, knowing that I must share this with you all so that you have the opportunity to learn how you can heal yourself, how you can truly understand why you do the things that you do, and what you can do about it. Because if you don't, no one else will. If you don't take control of your health, no one else is going to do it. If you don't take control of your life, no one else is going to do for you. So you are the only one that can change your state of health, and it starts by learning more about yourself, more about your body, and what you can truly do with it, because it is so extraordinary, transformative, and life-changing what your body can do. It is the most advanced technological device that we have on the planet, more than anyone can ever imagine. All right, so that's a little bit about me, about my health story. And so now all that pain is gone. You know, I was asthmatic too. I don't have asthma anymore. I don't have asthma. All my my body pain, my physical pain is gone. I don't have any joints. I don't have any pain in my joints anymore. And if I do, and it's only because I've done something wrong, like twisted my knee, and I can fix that in 24 hours. So all that pain is gone. And so my asthma is gone, and the only thing that I'm working now is my body weight, and I'm on my last 15 k's of releasing all the body weight from my body, and I'm doing that spiritually and energetically. And I will talk about that more in other videos. So what are your health stories? Because our stories that we tell ourselves about health can break us or make us. It is entirely up to you what you choose to be, healthy or unwell. All right, so being consciously aware about the different stories that you tell to yourself and others can make a difference to whether you create a state of healthiness or not. In fact, the stories that you tell yourself each day are the only things that can bring about a significant change in your health. They start from you looking at the stories that you're telling yourself and telling others. Once you identify those stories and then realize what they're doing to you, then you can actually make a change. An extraordinary transformational change can happen So what are your stories? What are your stories? I recently asked a question on Facebook, knowing that I was inviting a controversial debate about health, about your health, and what this is for many people. But the responses I got were not only controversial but heartbreaking for me, because I know and believe that the state of your health does not need to be the way it is. For an example, the depths of the belief patterns that exist within each and every one of us in today's society about our health, about health in general, is astonishing and quite devastating. So right now, I'm going to blow these beliefs to bits for you so you can step into a life of wellness, one that you deserve and have a divine right and responsibility to have. You have the right to be healthy. You have a divine right to be healthy, because your health does not depend on anybody else but you. Now, the most common health blocks and stories that I hear or that I read about are like this. They're like, people were saying there is a system in place so that only a small percentage of population get access to it. That's actually complete bullshit, because your health is available to you 24/7. Everyone has the same access to their health at any time. It doesn't rely on a hospital. It doesn't rely on doctors. The only thing your health relies on is you and the decision whether you want to be healthy or not. I also hear things like, life is not fair. This happens to everyone. It would have happened to me sooner or later. That is total bullshit, because you are a spiritual being. You are God in a physical body. You're an extension of God, extension of the universe, an extension of source energy. So the only way that things happen in your life is if you create it. You are the creator of your own reality. So you create life to be however you want it to be. So if you want it to be difficult, this is how you created it. This is how you want it to be. Now, another story was, we have to work hard to be healthy, eat right, exercise, and get a job. Well, getting a job and working hard, eating right, and exercise has got nothing to do with being healthy. You can be healthy exponentially without any of those three things. You don't need a job, you don't need to eat right, and you don't need to exercise. You just need to understand how your body works. You need to understand how we create it, and you need to understand what the body can do to help you become healthy, to help you eat right, to help you exercise. And once you do that, then you'll be amazed at what you can actually do. Like, I'm going to keep saying that. You'll be amazed about what you can actually do. I also read messages like, if I took my medicines, I'd be all right, but I forget to take them as they taste yuck, or I feel worse than I've ever taken them. You don't have to take your medications to be healthy. Now, this will be a controversial comment, and I'm very happy to have that debate. But the medicines that you take, the medicines that you put in your body, are not keeping you well. In fact, they are keeping you unwell. And the only people profiting from the medications is the pharmacies, pharmaceutical companies that make them. You are energy. You are a different match to the medications that you are putting in your body. Hence why they are not doing any benefit to your body. They are just a different match, energetic match to your body. Once you understand it, you can change that though. All right, some people went right off the track about their own health and discussed the politics of it all, like the health system that only serves the rich, the mental health system that just makes you take all these psychotic drugs that make me so sleepy and tired. And the stories were on that line all the time, about other people, about other things that aren't available for them. And so as I kept reading the stories, some people even suggest that it's the colour of their skin that prevents them from receiving the health care that they need. Or the system is only for the rich, the greedy rich people. Most people went on about doctor's visits and how much they cost and what is the point of them, as they never come out better than when they went in. So there were all kinds of that story. So once I kept reading them, there was a pattern. I noticed a pattern. And the pattern was most didn't even have anything to do with the person's health at all. As most people believe it is up to the government to provide better services and resources for everyone, regardless of where they come from and how much money they make. The most important thing I learned from everyone that responded was none of them took responsibility for their own health, as they all believe it is up to the government, doctors, health practitioners to do it for them. There is a huge block, a huge mindset, a lack mindset, a scarcity mindset in humanity that believes that there is not enough for them, that believes that only other people have access to it, that believes that their health, their lives, are that other people are responsible for their lives and their health. But that's not true. You are the only one that's responsible for your health. You are the only one that's responsible for your health. No one is. And it's only because we've been programmed to believe that since we were children. That's where all our stories come from. Our stories come from the self-limiting beliefs that we were taught as children, that our parents taught us, that our teachers, that society taught us, that other people taught us. That's where all our stories come from. That's where all our beliefs from. That been all defined by other people, other circumstances, situations, and events. Most of the self-limiting beliefs, or the beliefs that we have within us right now, all come from other people, other circumstances, events, and society. The other number one thing that I will say about the comments is all the narratives and stories about one's health were negative and very, very despondent. And this is the block, people. This is the main reason you are unwell. You're in your scarcity mindset. There is a belief in most of our population that having a healthy life is unattainable, unaffordable, racist, divisive, limited, and lacking. And it is not so, because we live in an abundant, loving, compassionate, benevolent universe where everything is provided for us, because we are energy. We are all made from energy, and we live in an energetic world that provides us with everything. And I'm going to teach you why it's like that and how we're like that. So, my dear beautiful souls, what are your health stories? What health stories were you told as a child? Were you told stories like, grab a piece of paper? What kind of stories were you told? So grab a piece of paper and write down the things you believe about your health. And just think about, where did you get them from? Honestly, where did you get all these stories about your health from? You know, as a child, were you told stories like, I'll take you to the doctor, they'll fix it? Or were you told, so when you went and told your parents that you didn't feel well, did they say to you, shut up and go to sleep, you'll feel better in the morning? Or, oh, you've got a fever, here, take this and go to bed. Or, get up and go to school, you're not sick, you're faking it again. Even though you did have a headache, you know, and you didn't feel well, were you just told to go to school no matter what? Or were you told, have a lemon, garlic and honey drink, that'll fix that cold, or take these pills, they'll do. And it could be any kind of pills, anyone's pills. Or, right now, we're just told, put your mask on and wash your hands, and that prevents the COVID virus. And it's like, for me, seriously, this virus is killing a lot of people, and the only thing the government is telling us to do to cure it, and to prevent us from getting it, was to put on a mask and wash your hands. And for me, that was the turning point for me in getting into this, and doing something about our health, because there's a lot more that we can do. There's a lot more that we need to know, rather than just put on a mask, you know, spend 2 meters distance away, isolate itself. There's more that we can do. And it's all about knowing how we're created. It's all about knowing that we are energy, and we can change our energy so that we don't catch any disease, so that we don't catch any virus, so that we don't catch any illness. And it's just a matter of knowing how to do that. So, do any of those stories resonate with you? Do any of those childhood stories resonate with you? Because some of those were said to me all the time as a kid, and some of my friends were like that as well. So, do you resonate with any of those? And also, do you think it is selfish for you to want to be healthy? Do you think you are worthy enough to have the good health that you desire? And do you deserve to be in good health? So do you think about that? Do you think whether it's selfish to be healthy? Do you think that you are worthy enough to be healthy? And do you think that you deserve to be in good health? Just really take a good think and ponder those questions, because I'd be really interested to find out where you're at in your health stories. So take a few minutes and be conscious of the health stories you tell yourself and others, and write them down. Take note of what these stories or narratives are so that you can change them. Everyone has their own blocks and everyone has their own health stories, which is absolutely great. There is no right or wrong story, as these are your stories, your life experience and your learnings that are key to helping you heal yourself. Once you have written down your health story, be mindful of how you are feeling when you do this, and mindful of what you were thinking, because as you do this, you are creating a specific kind of energy within you that is either helping or harming you. It is your beliefs about your health and your misunderstanding of what health and well-being truly is that is preventing you from being healthy, because health is not what you are led to believe. In fact, being healthy has nothing to do with anything physical. It has nothing to do with going to the doctors, the hospital, any health professionals. Your health is all about knowing how we were created, how we were born to be the healthiest people in the universe, and how you can use all that we are born with to keep you healthy or heal yourself. That's what health is really about. It's really about understanding what life is, how life works, how the universe works, and how your body heals itself. Okay, so once you've done that, just really think about your health stories. What health stories are you telling yourself, and what health stories are you telling other people? And then watch our next video, and I will get to connect all that we've done in this video with the next video, and explain what our health stories mean and how they affect our health and what we can actually do about it. Alright, so thank you for listening. I really, really appreciate. And as always, if you have any comments or questions, pop them under this video or DM me. I'd be happy to hear from you. And if you think anyone else will benefit from this video, then please share it. And this video is just a little bit more information, a little bit more content, and it's about what I'll be teaching in our Wānanga next weekend. And if you are interested in attending our Wānanga, because we're going to go really, really deep in understanding what our bodies can do, how we're created, and how our stories, especially our traditional ancient Māori stories, cultural stories, indigenous stories, hook up and help us to heal ourselves, because our ancient stories really, really do. Right, folks, so I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for listening and for being part of this. Mōre ora, namaste.